Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati.
Hey there, friends. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. This is your home for organic Bible study that's fresh, delicious, artisanally made, locally sourced, and responsibly handled. I promise it's made from only 100% pure Bible. 5 minutes a day, 5 days a week, studying the Psalms verse by verse. That's all we do here. So then we like to call this the Bible Bistro. So come on in, sit down. Let's open up our Bibles today. We're looking at Psalm 75. Today we're going to look at verses 7 and 8. Yesterday, I kind of left you with a cliffhanger. Promotion doesn't come from the east or the west or the south, but where does it come from? Well, today we're going to find out the answer to that question. So today we'll see the answer to that question. Remember, we're in the worship leader now. So we've had the worship leader speaking in verse 1, the Lord speaking in verses 2 through 5. The worship leader came back and spoke in verse 6, and we're going to have him here in 7 and 8. And then tomorrow we'll have the Lord finishing off the psalm for us in verses 9 and 10. Okay, so let me read for you Psalm 75, verses 7 and 8. But God is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. For in the hand of the Lord there is a cup. The wine is red. It is full of mixture, and he poureth out of the same. But the dregs thereof, all the wicked of the earth, shall wring them out and drink them. And of course, this is the worship leader. He's still speaking. He said promotion doesn't come from the east, from the west, from the south. Where does it come from? Verse 7, God is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. So you see the problem with setting up your own horn, lifting up your own horn, problem with that is that's my effort to promote myself. That's my effort to advance my own cause. And so in wickedness and in pride, if I try to do that, I'm just going to find failure. I'm going to find shame, and I'm going to find vanity. But if I just allow the Lord to do His work in my life, then things are going to turn out the way the Lord wants them to turn out. So I shouldn't try to have my own designs necessarily, unless they're the Lord's designs. And so lifting up your own horn, that is creating your own authority, promoting and advancing yourself, rather than allowing the Lord to speak for you. That is lifting up your horn. You know, this advancement of self. And, of course, it's connected with the stiff neck. That is the heart of pride. Promotion doesn't come because you advance yourself. It doesn't come because you lift up your horn. Promotion comes from the Lord. He's the judge. Let Him judge. He'll be the one to judge. He puts down one and He sets up another. Are you the one He sets up? Or are you the one He puts down? Well, I'll guarantee you the one He puts down is the wicked man. And the one He puts down is the foolish man. He makes sure that those horns are broken at the root. The stiff neck will suddenly come to destruction. But the Lord, He's the one that can judge between those. And He'll set up one and He'll put down another. Let that be in His hands. And then we have this in verse 8. For in the hand of the Lord there is a cup. All right, now, we've seen a lot of things in heaven, haven't we? We've seen a book where the Lord writes names. We've seen a bottle where He collects tears. And now we see there's a cup. And in this cup, there's red wine. Now, later on in the book of Revelation, we see this red wine poured out, and it's not wine at all, but it's the blood of those people who are slain in the last days. This cup is the cup of God's judgment. So in the Lord's hand there's a cup. The wine is red. It's full of mixture, and He poureth out of the same. So this looks forward to the future when judgment will happen. God is judge. That's another theme in this psalm. Because in verse 2, the Lord said of Himself, I will judge uprightly. Here in verse 8, or in verse 7, he says, the worship leader says, God is the judge. And then we have this in verse 8, there's a cup. The wine is red. He's going to pour out of that cup. And that's going to be the judgment of God on this earth. And who's going to get the worst part of that? The wicked. They're going to wring out the dregs thereof. All right, join me tomorrow. We'll hear the Lord come back in, and He's going to end the psalm for us by declaring something forever. So I hope you join me then on Daily Dose Radio.
Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.